Okay, more from this book, The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East. Now, I hope that some of you who hear this will go back and look in my recent postings that I did a posting of a story that Spirit gave me, and I call it The Dove Story for Children. And read that, because then you will understand some of this even better. There is a part of it that kind of rubs metaphysical people who have developed formulas and rituals and dogmas and methods and all of that, because we tend to want to never lose the tradition of practicing certain procedures, put it that way. But what I read here will show you that that's not necessary anymore. That's maybe the last thing we have to give up. And this part of the book here shows exactly why. And this is Jesus speaking here. As you love one another, you are immersed in love. He placed love as one of the greatest powers. When we turn our power in the other direction, we come into a state of turmoil. He said that you are the ruler of heaven and earth, and all that is in them. Are there any limitations in that? He saw that man had not touched his possibilities. He presented the unlimited to humanity. If there were one atom misplaced in the body, that body could not remain in existence. Take one atom out of its place and the whole universe would explode. Jesus presented those conditions in a simple, straightforward way. His original words are perfectly simple. He placed the ideal so definitely that we could never forget it. He presented it as God. It is known today that the vibratory influence of that word carries us right out of the hypnotic state we build in our own bodies. If we turn the energy we give to that state toward God, we would build that condition so definitely that there would be no separation. And I want to show you. I'll put this camera up a little. I have in my room these letters, God I am, it says. And I keep that there to remind myself that every time I hear someone say, God damn, I just say to myself, oh, really? What they're doing is saying, God I am. And that way it doesn't bother me so much, because I can transform the energy of that. And I like that. God I am. God I am. It does sound like you're saying I am God, and it also sounds like you're saying God damn. And I choose to see it as I am God. Now, to get back on with this. But most of us look from the central point and allow our thoughts to dissipate. Jesus' vision went to one point, that subjective condition that always exists. The object changes, but the truth never changes. Now, if we changed and gave all our energy to that one-pointed attitude, our bodies would emanate light. When we came into a room, that room would light up. We have seen that many times. It is not phenomena. It can be photographed, and you cannot photograph phenomena. We can turn from the unstable condition in which we have chosen to live to the stable condition, and it takes us only as long as it requires us to take the thought. The very instant we have changed our thought to this truth, or God, it is right with us, and we are that very thing. Now here's the part that kind of puts people on the defensive. We do not need any lessons. Lessons are only make us aware. They are a power, yes, but we are apt to give more energy to the lesson than to the meaning it conveys. It took only one demonstration for those two students to walk out and stand with the teachers on the water, while the others stood on the bank. There are many standing on the bank because they do not change to a stable condition. The same amount of energy they give to instability would take them right out on the water. We do not need to leave here to learn to walk on the water, nor do we need to leave here to learn one single precept. There is but one precept, and it is right here within us. We cannot change it. It does not matter how long we keep away from it. When you turn toward the light, you find that you are the light. Did Jesus need to walk toward the light? Why? He was the light. It is, as he explained, the light of truth, the light of love, the light of God. Jesus never used a thought that was not turned toward principle. With that attitude, we can all follow in that very simple way. Those people who live in that simple way do not take something from someone else, but bring out from within. That is worked out to the supplying of food and every necessity. The only difference between them and the rest of mankind is that they have projected their vision to take in a wider horizon. Everyone can work it out for himself. Once we have worked it out, we have learned the rule. We follow our own course, and then we know. Paths may be presented and ways shown, but unless we use our own way, we are not going to accomplish it. If we look to others, we are adding energy and impetus to something that someone else is doing, and we are getting that energy from our body. The moment we present our way, we add energy to our body, and we have ample to spare. That builds up a condition that helps everyone. We do not take the thoughts of another to build upon. We build our thoughts into universal condition that benefits the whole of humanity. It is said that no one brings forth an accomplishment in any way without assisting the whole race. It is the energy we add, directed toward one great attitude of thought, that carries humanity on. It is not by building upon the other fellow, but by building upon our own foundation. Then we have all the energy in the universe to use. Everything we think of in the name of God, and with that vibration, belongs to us. That covers all supply, all knowledge, all purity, all perfection, all good. You can gain dominion just as soon as you put your entire thought on the fact that divinity is already established within you. Know all of the time that divinity is nowhere but right within, that it has always been established within, that you have only clouded and thus kept it out of your consciousness by your own adverse thoughts. Talk to that divinity within. Tell it that you know that it is there, and that you have now become fully aware of its presence. Ask it to come forth and be the dominating factor in your life. Say, I now have let go and now put out of my life all adverse thoughts. I am grateful that divinity is fully established throughout my entire being. Determine that you will no longer be an animal, that your entire body is now so pure that the holy presence of the living God has attained full possession of this body temple, and that it is now in complete charge. Keep these thoughts constantly in mind. Then say, I now know the bliss and satisfaction that springs from the union of the soul with the living Christ, and that bliss and satisfaction do abide in me throughout all eternity. I know that the presence of the living Christ is fully established in me, and I am the pristine purity of the Christ. Keep these statements before the subconscious or subjective mind, and you will soon experience the joy and satisfaction that always have been yours through the presence of the living Christ. Soon, you will find that you do generate mental forces that supplant all adverse thoughts, feelings, and actions. You do build up a momentum of pure thought that is irresistible and that dominates your entire world. The time to fortify this spiritual and holy temple is when we are at peace with our own soul. In this way, we so educate the subjective mind that it gives forth nothing but divine impressions. This sinks deep into our consciousness and operates during every hour of our sleep. When we find a weak spot in our thoughts, words, or deeds, it is necessary to bring the will into full action to strengthen and fortify these rents in the structure. Soon we learn automatically to conquer all adverse thoughts, and only God thoughts and God feelings have residence in our worlds. Then do we truly have the armies of our thoughts and feelings so marshaled that nothing but God is able to enter. This is the degree of absolute mastery, where one attains the ability to make the divine principle manifest. Thus we are the basis of all spiritual power. You will find that it pays great dividends as you make it your work in life. You now see the dawn of a new day, and you do gain a greater understanding of the law. There is no more effective way to free your mind and world of discord than positively to know that your entire mind and body is the temple of the living God. You can also use this statement with the knowledge that though through the silent but far-reaching influence of divine thoughts, all humanity, in fact the entire universe, is benefited and raised by every constructive thought, feeling, and spoken word sent out by you. The more you think of the immortal love of God, the greater the enlightenment of humanity manifest. Thus you can see and understand in a measure the tremendous privilege and opportunity which is ours in assisting in the uplifting and enlightenment of mankind. What is more, it is our responsibility and our obligation to life to help erase or dissolve the negative in the world of humanity. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is by refusing to see, hear, or accept the negative, and consciously to send forth divine love to everyone and everything. Know firmly that the divine spirit of the conquering Christ transcends all discord. Know always that your will is the divine will, God's will, and that God is acting through your every moment. Each thought that you qualify with this master thought increases your willpower, and your willpower becomes so strong that your very thought is irresistible. Do this and expect results with all sincerity, and nothing can disturb you. And with this I'll end, but I want to emphasize that part that says to you that you give away your power when you look to another to be your supply. It's within your own self, and that's where you go. Others can help, but you can't depend on them too much, because in doing that, you give over your power to them, and you lose it in yourself. And we all want to wake up. There's only really one person that needs to wake up, and that's ourself. And that is our challenge, to wake up and to realize that the truth abides within each and every man. It's just our recognition of it that will bring it forth. And I will end now. I think I'm out of minutes, and I'll talk to you again later. Love you all. This is the Dove Lady, over and out.